What up? Welcome to the Beneath the Dirt podcast, where we profile and showcase underground music while taking an occasional trip above the surface. I'm your host, Romebone. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 12. Just a little over a month and a half ago, I did a show with Mitchell from the Murder Mayhem Show, and I thought it'd be a good time to bring him back. We've had some shit happen in the underground. So I'd like to welcome Mitchell. What's up?
What up, y'all? Is this live, by the way? I didn't even think to ask.
It's not. It's private.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's all good to me either way, but just it didn't even cross my mind to ask about it. So,
no, I got it set to go live on Monday. We're recording this February 23rd, Saturday.
Yeah. So. It's actually a pretty legendary day. It's the 20th anniversary of the Slim Shady LP.
Yeah.
So I've been giving that some thought. I'll probably have to talk about that on my show next week, just because it's such a important CD just in general. And to me, especially, because that was before I'd even heard of ICP. I bought that Slim Shady LP and it just blew my mind. You know, it's not so different from ICP, even though they had their differences down the road there. They're actually have quite a bit in common, especially that old Slim Shady LP. So anyway, all that to say, it's a big day for that.
If you ask me, Eminem spits the wicked shit. It's just commercialized and mainstream.
Some of it is, a lot of it's not. But yeah, I mean, he's Detroit, you know, so it's authentic. It's as authentic as you can get. He was inspired by Esham every bit as much as your ICPs and your Twisteds and your King Gordys and all those dudes. So it's legit.
It is.
Some of it's commercialized, some of it's pretty ruthless, especially for its time. Even today, he's still pissing people off.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how you could be in the game this long and still say shit to piss people off. But every time he puts out an album consistently, they still put out those articles, you know. Eminem just said this about this person. It's like, yeah, that's what he fucking does.
Even with Kamikaze, he had that line about Tyler, the Creator.
Right.
And even though they took the word out, it was still there. And people fucking, today's social media outrage fucking got offended by it.
Did they even take the word out? I don't particularly recall it being censored, but I didn't really give that album too many spins.
Yeah, they dropped the word out. It gives it like kind of like a little word, and then the word cuts out.
Gotcha. So anyway.
But last night I held the Dirtball Skull Hollow listening party. So we were listening to that. You were in the chat.
Sure was.
We were sharing our thoughts on the album. I haven't given the album any other spin since last night, but just a quick recall, fucking Dirtball came pretty hard with that album.
Yeah, it was really good. And I probably wouldn't have even listened to it. That was release day yesterday when you did that, right? So I probably wouldn't have even listened to it for another week or two, if not for that. So that was a pretty cool little thing. You do those listening parties. It's a good opportunity to stay up on the new shit. You know, if I was at work at the time, but it popped up, you know, like streaming live now. I was like, oh, well, this is a good time to fucking peep this shit out. And yeah, it was a good time. The CD was really good. So
yeah, I figure if there's an album I think people would be interested in that's dropping, depending on what the kind of hype is, like for Fearless Fred Fury, I did the listening party at midnight because I knew the hype was that real for it. I knew there would be people tuning in for it.
Did a lot of people tune into that, or how? Because now how did it go? Was it good?
It was good. I had a good turnout. A lot of people interacting in the chat. By the time everything was all said, and to be honest, I don't even remember the last 4 songs playing that night. I was so fucking tired. I have to wake up at 6 a.m. for work. I was just dead.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah, totally. And I was like, I had been looking forward to like really making a private evening of it for myself, because I've been looking forward to that album I'm always looking forward to the next album. So you might even say that I'm already looking forward to the next one. But especially since they released like The Name and the Face, that was on Halloween 2017.
I
Is
believe
that
so.
right? I believe it was Halloween 2017. Sometimes
Yep.
I get my years crossed, but yeah, ever since that, especially, is just so hyped. Whenever a new Joker's card comes out, I always like to really take it in. I had the Beats headphones on, and I was like really listening to it closely. So yeah, it was great,
Yeah.
and I still love the album. I actually have it sitting right in front of me still because I keep talking about it on my show. So I keep
Yeah, I got both
looking
Flip the
at it.
Rat and Fearless Fred Fury sitting on my desk here as well.
Did you
Um,
listen to Flip yet? I think the other day you said you hadn't listened to it yet.
nope, haven't listened to it yet. I'm thinking about doing a listening party for that, even though I know people have listened to it. But I think uh, people would want to tune in for that. I'm just trying to soak in Fearless Fred Fury because too much music at one time can kind of give you like listeners fatigue, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I want the Joker's card. Like, I just want to soak in the main meat of what we're really supposed to be getting right now. I will listen to Flip the Rat, that's for sure. I mean, I listen to everything they fucking put out. I always have, always will. Just waiting, still soaking in Fred right now. But what do you think of Flip?
I think that it's not comparable to Fred. However, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying that it's better, which
Yeah,
to me, it's like I'm not getting that at all. So that it just comes down to each individual taste, I guess. But for me, it's like I would call it a novelty, is what I would call it. I wouldn't call it something that I'm going to be listening to as much as Fred. I've been listening to Fred nonstop over the last week and will continue to listen to it nonstop over the next week.
yeah,
Flip the Rat, I've listened to it not that many times really. On release day, I listened to it one full time through, and then a few days later, I listened to it again, and now I'm kind of at the place with it where it's like, all right, unless I'm really in the mood to listen to it, I'm probably just gonna put it aside for the most part. But I mean, it's got some good stuff on it for sure.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
uh,
I've seen people as well say that Flip the Rat is better than Fearless Fred Fury, which is kind of fucking crazy to me because the way I look at Flip the Rat is the same way I look at Beverly Kills, Terror Wheel, the Phantom EP. I look at it as kind of a sideshow EP to a Joker's card.
yeah, totally. Which I would go as I'm so biased toward, as much as I love the new shit. Like if for me, the '90s ICP will always outdo the past '90s ICP. So
Right.
as much as I love Fred Fury, and I know someone could take this out of context, but don't do it. I would say Beverly Kills, Terror Wheel, and Tunnel of Love, even though they're EPs, I would say those are better than Fred Fury. But that's just because I'm so
I would agree. I
I
would
love
agree
those
with that.
CDs so much.
Yeah, I
What?
would agree. I would agree with that. That music from the first six, that era, the first six is just so classic and pretty much flawless. They really didn't make any music that was really bad.
No, it's totally flawless all the way up to the Bizarre albums, which are still great. They're still amazing albums, but those are the very first albums where the tiniest cracks start coming through, I think. That's why I specify 90s ICP. Like
Yeah.
every song from the 90s is a perfect 10, I would say. So yeah, I always give it to the 90s over the present stuff, but I love the present day stuff too. So don't
Right.
get that fucked up, America. Fred Fury is a fucking amazing album. I love it.
It's
It's
really good. It's
from
really
start
good.
to finish. No skippers. And you and I are on the same page about Missing Link, and I think a lot of people are also on that same page about Missing Link. So which is that there are a lot of skippers.
Yeah.
So
it seems like more people are coming out now that Fearless Fred Fury has dropped, kind of talking down or just saying that the Missing Link albums weren't good and this is the album that we really needed, because this is the album we fucking needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every song is like ferocious. There's minimal softness, and even the songs that you could consider soft are still really good.
Yeah,
but,
the only songs I don't like on the album, Low.
Okay.
I just can't get past samples. Samples played out. Just not. I think I listened to it twice and just I've skipped it since. And Hothead.
I love Hothead. I like that for some reason. That's the one that I keep coming back to. Is like every time I hear it, I like it more and more. And I never disliked it, but it was like it didn't capture my imagination on the first go around. But the more and more I listen to the album, like that one is consistently the one that stands out as one that I really enjoy. So
yeah, Hothead for some reason kind of reminds me of Mental Warp.
Okay.
Just because it's so slow.
Right.
And the flow he uses it's way different.
Yeah.
I just can't get into that one. I could see why people like it. I see why people like Mental Warp as
Mental
well.
Warp is great. Do you not like Mental Warp?
No, I don't like that one either.
Crazy talk.
Yep.
That's 90s ICP.
It is. That's one of the few songs from the 90s very few songs from the 90s that I probably don't like. I
would venture to say that I like every ICP song that they've ever made, because between the beat, the verses, or the hook, or whatever else, there's always at least something I can find to enjoy about every song that ICP has ever made, except for the Chop Chop Slide, which I hate. That's the only ICP song where it's like, okay, I have noticed if I never ever heard this song again, I would be fine.
If Mental Warp came on, if I had to choose, I would choose Mental Warp over Hothead. But yeah, the only two songs I skip on Fearless Fred Fury are Low and Hothead. Everybody agrees that Freedom is the ending to the album. I don't
agree with that, but go on.
Yeah, I listened to your show, and you said it makes sense that I Like It Rough is the last song only because the album is already so dark. I could see that. I think it would have fit better somewhere in the middle of the album.
That would have been interesting. Like, I wonder if I would even listen to it with the same ears if it was just slipped in the middle of all the other tracks without that warning before it. But like, I saw some people in the YouTube comments. Obviously, the big point of discussion with that song is it truly the most disturbing song of ICP's career, since that's how they set it up. And people on YouTube are saying like, nah, Hell's Pit is more disturbing than that song. And I don't get that at all. Like, I don't like Hell's Pit is a great, like, well, you don't like Hell's Pit. Actually, we've talked about, I think we've had that conversation before. I like Hell's Pit a lot, but I wouldn't call it disturbing. I would call it, I mean,
it's just wicked. It's pure wicked shit. Hell's Pit is pure wicked shit.
It's practically cartoonish at times,
right?
But because that's the ICP way. But like, I Like It Rough, although I guess you could also make the argument that is also cartoonish. There's a lot of really fucked up stuff in that song. If you actually like listen to it and pay close attention to the lyrics, it's like, oh my God, where did he come up with this shit?
This song, to me, I said this on my podcast, my last episode. This is the most disturbing song ICP's put out, no doubt about it. The shit Jay is talking about on this song is
he's like, I want to sodomize you until I lobotomize you.
Like come on, like that is just messed up. That is wrong.
I will say
long.
he probably pushes that "choke me with your panties" thing to the as far as you can possibly
Yeah.
take it. Like
Yeah.
it's literally to the point of like if he would have said that one more time, I'd probably say fuck this song. He
Right.
pushes it to the maximum number of times that you can say it without it becoming super annoying. But no, I love that song a lot. I think it's good. I think it works as a closer, partly because it is so different from every other closer. It's like,
Right.
why do we got to do the same shit every time?
Yeah.
It almost kind of sounds like it could have been a bonus track. Like if they would have just left that Beware track off and then just let it ride for like 10 minutes of silence or whatever. You
Right.
could have put that in as a bonus track and then maybe people wouldn't be so harsh on it. But yeah, a lot of people like you said, most everyone does agree that like that it's not a good closer. I take the stance that it is a good closer, but yeah, Freedom is a great song too, though. I like that one a lot. It's one of the strongest on the whole album to me.
Yeah.
So
The hook on Freedom that was one of the songs I was kind of iffy on at first. I didn't love it, didn't hate it, but listening to it a few times, that hook is just so catchy, so good. I really like it.
the thing that they've improved upon the most, well, they really improved on everything, lyrics and beats from the Missing Link, but especially hooks. Like nothing can ruin a potentially amazing song more than a shitty hook. And it always drives me up the wall when there's a song that could be great, but it's got the world's most annoying hook.
Right. Yeah, that's
Then it's like, well, fuck, now I can't listen to this anymore.
right.
And not to throw anyone under the bus, but if I had to name names to give an example, I to me the most notorious person who does that is Tech Nine. Like he has so many songs that could, to me, be so much better if they just had a better hook. But yeah, all the hooks on Fred Fury are catchy, good. A friend of mine, my friend who got me into Juggalo shit in the first place, like 20 years ago, he listened to Fred Fury, and his initial review on it was, "Yeah, that's pretty good. There were no songs on it that annoy me." And I was like, "Man, that is such a real review." Because when it comes to like the Missing Link, for instance, or even Bang Pow Boom, a little bit, it's like, yeah, sometimes there's songs that just kind of annoy you.
Yeah.
But I didn't get any of that on Death Pop. I like Death Pop from start to finish as well. But yeah, Fred Fury's. A lot of people are saying it's the best of this deck.
Mm, it's too early to tell, but I would have to say no. I went back the other day when you put up that poll about best card of the second deck so far. I went back and listened to Bang Pow Boom and Mighty Death Pop, and I always thought Bang Pow Boom was the better album out of those two, but there are no songs I skip on Mighty Death Pop at all. I think Bang Pow Boom has stronger songs than Mighty Death Pop, but Mighty Death Pop has it's all killer, no filler.
Yeah, that's a really good point as well, because like one of the things that makes Fred Fury so much better than the Missing Link is that there's no like fours or fives on it. But I would also go as far to say that I'm not so sure the Fearless Fred Fury has any nines or tens on it. I mean, I don't know. I would have to weigh on that a little bit more, but like even the Missing Link album, Found, like the title track, Found, I love that song a lot, and I would easily call that a 9. And like the midway, there's tracks on Found that I would call 9s. There's tracks on Bang Pow Boom I would call 9s, certainly, like In Your Face, or the title track to Bang Pow Boom as well, or whatever. There's there's like 9s on that as well. Fred Fury I would call mostly all 8s, but I'll gladly take that over like a 9 and 6 4s and
Right, right.
7 5s, which is pretty much what Missing Link is to me. So
I said last night, which prompted me to want to do this show with you today during the end of the Dirtball listening party last night. I said that Shimmer will go down as one of the best storytelling songs from ICP. I think that song it's a 9 or a 10. I think Fury is a 9 or a 10. Fury is the strongest song on that album, in my opinion. But Shimmer will, I think, go down as one of the best storytelling songs. That's another fucked up song.
Yeah, it is a pretty fucked up song. And as we were talking about on that listening party and also on my review of it, I said that I consider that to be one of the weaker tracks, but it's not. I mean, the story is good. It's just the music of it I'm not really into so much.
I like the contrast of the music and the subject matter of the song, because it sounds like it could be like a uplifting, more positive kind of song, but then you just get this horror movie on top of it.
Yeah, I honestly I don't even know what my favorite track on the album is. West Werner Ave is one that I go to a lot. Game Over is one that I go to a lot.
That's a good one.
Freedom. So probably between those three. I like Nobody's Fault a lot too, but it's a little sappy, so
I like it. That's a good song.
I like it a lot too. It's great, but I just wouldn't put it on the short list of potential favorites.
I saw somebody say that because in the No Jumper interview ICP did, Violent J said that he loves Ray Shremmerd, and somebody was like, "Okay, now Nobody's Fault makes sense because of the auto tune."
That was me. That was me who said that.
All right.
So yeah.
Okay.
Whoever said that was a wise man. But I mean, that's why it works though, because like you can tell the difference between someone that's doing it just to jump on the trend and someone who's doing it because they legitimately like that kind of music.
Right.
So I think it works. It comes across. And they don't use the auto tune to like make him sing better. It's just like an affectation to the verses. So they don't overdo it by any means. Triplex is a really good one.
Yeah, that's a good song. I just wish they would have split the 3 personalities into 3 separate verses.
Ooh, that's an interesting thought. That didn't cross my mind.
Yeah, I feel like that song is good concept. I like the song. It would have been better if the 3 personalities were in 3 verses, because you got Shaggy as the therapist talking to the personalities, and it just seems kind of all over the place, just kind of thrown together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like that, I agree with that on principle. The thing that I think saves it and makes it work is that all the verses are so strong. Like, there could easily have been a version of that song that sucked if the Violent J parts weren't as awesome as they were. Then it would just seem like corny. It would seem thrown together, but because by virtue of the fact that the verses are so awesome, it makes it work. And that hook is really good too. So, and the beat is really good too.
It is.
So, and even the Shaggy parts crack me up. He's like, "Hank, if you want to eat something, try my balls."
Yeah.
Always makes me laugh at then. It's like he's just got enough.
It almost kind of reminds me of like Suicide Hotline, when Shaggy was the therapist on the phone for that
sounding voice and everything.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shaggy, where is he? Like, there's a tipping point on once you hit like track 7, like after Satellite, it's like, all right, see you later, Shaggy. I won't see you again until Freedom.
Yeah,
because he's not on the verses of Seriously Hilarious, Game Over, Night of Red Rum. Well, he has a verse in Low, but it's the weird verse when the beat switches up.
Yeah.
Triplex, Nobody's Fault. He has a part on Hothead also, but it's not really rapping.
Anything substantial.
Yeah,
I was disappointed in the lack of Shaggy on the album. It started out strong. His solo track on the album is fucking awesome, West Werner Ave.
Totally.
But the lack of Shaggy, I mean, towards the end of the album, you're missing him because he's been fucking killing it lately. I really like that Gloomy Sunday EP.
Yeah. I wouldn't like if they would have thrown the Gloomy Sunday title track and Peekaboo on this album. That would have been cool with me.
Oh yeah, Peekaboo would have fit right perfectly in with this album, and that was supposed to be on this album.
Yeah, and that's Honestly, I think Peekaboo. I love that song so much. I really latched onto it hard, and I think it's better than every track on Fred Fury. But that's just because I specifically have latched onto it so hard. Like objectively, I don't know that it's any better than all these songs, but it really hit me just right. So I don't know why they cut it, but I don't know. I'm sure they had their reasons.
Yeah, it would have fit in good. He killed that cover. I mean, that MC Run cover is so fucking good.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe that's the only reason they cut it is because they didn't want a cover track on there. I don't know.
Right.
I can only guess, but
I mean, you could say Low is almost, it's not a cover track, but I mean,
right.
he uses the same flow or whatever.
Totally. Yeah. I would have gladly traded Low in for Peekaboo.
Oh, for sure.
No doubt on that. And I like Low, but yeah. Well,
But
how do you
yeah,
feel about Night of Red Rum compared to the other Night of tracks?
it's good. I like it.
Yeah, they're 4 for 4 on those now.
Oh yeah, it's when I saw Night of Red Rum, I'm like, all right, we're getting another Night of the Axe, super dope, classic. Night of the 44, classic.
Chainsaw.
Night of the Chainsaw, another classic. I even like the remix that they did.
Oh, actually, I don't really like that remix at all. Since 3-6 Mafia is like not on topic at all. It sounds like they just sent them some random verses.
Right.
Seemed like a weird song to pick for a featured remix.
Yeah, but yeah, 4 for 4 on the Night of. I thought the beat on that was dope.
Mm-hmm.
The flow, just the topic.
Right. Yeah, the verses are fucking crazy on this whole album.
Mm.
They're so good. It's like, damn.
He came super correct on this album. It totally makes up for the missing link.
I got the Louisville bat aiming for your hat. Louisville bat aiming for your hat. That's on Missing Link. It's just like, fuck, man. You couldn't think of 2 more rhymes. You had to repeat the same fucking line 3 times per verse. Yeah, I hate that song. But like I said, I like every ICP song a little bit. So, yeah, Night of Red Rum, definitely a banger for sure. I was thinking one day it might be cool if they did like Night of the Strangler and had Shaggy do one.
That would be fucking cool.
Yeah, thank you. That's my own idea.
That is actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, seems a way to shake things up.
Let's throw the ideas out there.
I don't really want. I hope they don't overdo the Night of too much. I mean, you know, between a Night of the Axe and Night of the 44, that's an entire set of Joker's cards, and now they've already done 2 for this set. It's like, all right, that's probably enough. They probably don't need to do any more for this set, but with another set of cards coming, surely there'll be at least a few more. Night of.
I feel like they've spaced them out pretty well. Usually, like, these aren't really like sequel songs, but it is following a certain theme. And it's usually hard to follow up with something like that, following, you know, the same formula over and over. But 4 for 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, and this one's kind of weird too, because you didn't even have to call it Night of Red Rum. You could have just called it Red Rum, and it would have been the same song. Whereas all the other ones are very much centered around like a very specific theme. But this one is just killing people, just like every other ICP song. So,
and then you got Satellite, which was the first soft song on the album. Right. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. Definitely.
The topic is dope on that. I've said it. Fearless Fred Fury is the best theme and best character of the second deck.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Mighty Death Pop and Bang Pow Boom were different, but they were kind of similar in ways.
A little bit. As far as the look of the cards, I still think Bang Pow Boom is the coolest looking of this deck. Fearless Fred Fury is pretty awesome too, but I like it simple. Like if Fred Fury was just the face and the fist, that would be cool. But
yeah,
I mean, it's cool as fuck looking regardless. Just
it is.
getting into nitpicks here, but definitely my favorite concept of all of them.
For sure. And then we got the shit talking, which
yeah,
I knew it was going to happen on the album.
You're talking about Seriously Hilarious?
I am.
All right. Let's talk about it.
He's talking about Tech Nine.
Exactly what I alluded to without actually saying it on my own podcast.
And Twisted. Reading that Detroit News interview that he did, talking about the whole Young Wicked thing,
right,
and how he was hurt, and it gave him the motivation for this album. I was like, okay, I'd be very fucking surprised if there wasn't one little mention of and of the situation with M&E at all on this. I thought there was going to be more, to be honest. So to only get the few lines that we did was kind of surprising, but not at the same time.
Well, to me, there's nothing on the album that's like distinctly M&E targeted. Like even the whole verse on Seriously Hilarious to me sounds like Tech Nine with lines that also could apply to Twisted, but everything that he says in that verse is a version of something that he said before about Tech Nine, like in the Hot 97 interview specifically. Like for anyone who doesn't think that Tech Nine is the target of that verse, go back and watch that Hot 97 interview, because that's the whole story. That's the whole Tech Nine story, like that he's talking about on that verse. As far as I mean, you rode the escalator to the top and then you distance yourselves or whatever. But
I'm surprised that he's bringing that Tech Nine situation back to light.
Totally, yeah.
I thought that shit was dead.
And now I'm wondering if we're even going to see Tech Nine at the Gathering.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It kind of feels like Violent J just like hit the self-destruct button on that whole relationship when he made this song. So I don't know. Maybe that's it for the Tech ICP era. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, I love Tech Nine, so I'm not gonna get fucking wrapped up into this dumb shit again.
No, absolutely
not again.
No, it's not worth it. Just enjoy the music.
It's not worth it. Not at all. No. I've gone through. I feel like I'm now in like my third stage of the ICP Twisted beef, which is at first I was like, first I was right there with them saying like, man, that's fucked up that Twisted shit on the march and did this and this and that. And then I hit a period about a year and a half later where I was like, let's just come together and end all this, squash all this bullshit. And now I'm totally in the place of like, I don't care. Beef or don't beef, I don't care. So, I mean,
yeah, I don't know if you caught or heard Monoxide had a stream a few days ago on the.
I heard about this, but I didn't know what he said. What do you know about it?
So from what I remember, it was fucking late at night. I was laying in bed going to fucking ready to go to sleep. But basically he's saying that he heard that Violent J was talking about him on the album.
Oh.
And he's saying, I don't care. He's saying what you're saying. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Wow. He's like, it's old news at this point. It sounds like they're not going to pay any mind to it.
We'll see when Generation Nightmare comes out, because there's a track on there called Skit 17, and I highly doubt that has nothing to do with 17.
I agree. When I saw that, I was like, okay. Because I was assuming that we were going to get shit talking on Fearless Red Fury, which we did. So
I like that they contained it all into that one song, though.
Yeah, it's. I'm glad that it wasn't littered all over the place on tracks.
Right.
But Monoxide saying he doesn't care, and he ain't gonna pay no mind to it. But you're right. We do have that Skit 17 song.
Yeah, we'll see. They do the same shit. They just do it more subliminally. So we'll see when Generation Nightmare comes out. Wait, is there a release date on that yet, by the way? I want to say that there is, but...
Yeah,
Well,
April 26th.
April, right? Yeah, okay.
Yep,
Well,
and Ala
that'll be
Zulilu
exciting.
is dropping the same day.
What is?
Ala Zulilu.
Oh, right. Yeah, that'll be awesome. That's like
Yeah,
how many tracks is that? You said that
8.
it was like 8 tracks. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be cool. The
So
inevitable conversation will be Generation Nightmare versus Fred Fury. That'll be what everybody's talking about when that album comes out.
absolutely. I think the Axe album, even though it's going to be 8 songs,
It's just
I'm
gonna come in and crush
yeah,
both of them.
I think he's going to crush Twisted and ICP. Those
I'll
guys are
say
just
this. I think that Almighty album is better than Fearless Fred Fury.
ooh,
But I
see,
think that the Almighty is like a 9 at the lowest, possibly a 10. One of
yeah,
the only albums I would call a 10 over the last 10 years. In fact, I rarely give something as perfect as that, but man, every note on that Almighty album is fucking just right.
it really
Every
is.
beat, every line, every concept, every hook. I love that album a lot. So I would call that album a 9 or a 10. Fred Fury, I would call a strong 8.
Yeah, I'd probably go 7, 8 on Fearless
Mm.
Fred Fury, only because of the 2 songs that I skip.
Mm-hmm. You
Um,
know, like it's so fucked up because when Bang Pow Boom came out, I remember everyone hating on the shit.
I loved it.
I lived it. People were hating on it when it came out. Now the people that don't like Fred Fury say, "Oh, it's not as good as Bang Pow Boom." It's like, where the fuck were you when Bang Pow Boom came out? Because now all of a sudden Bang Pow Boom is old school. It's 10 years old now, so
Right.
now it's okay to like it.
Right. I liked Bang Pow Boom when it came out. I was like, yes, we finally got that fucking real ICP vibe back. Like,
Yeah.
this is it.
Eventually, I still think that I think one day ICP in the future will make an album that we almost all unanimously agree is the best album they've ever made. I think they have that in their future, and they haven't quite done it yet. And I think it'll take Mikey Clark to bring that out, but I really think that'll happen.
I brought up on my last podcast, where's Legs Diamond? Legs Diamond is just as much ICP as Mikey Clark is.
Yeah, that's a good point. And he wasn't on Missing Link either, but he's definitely still around. He's in that Juggalo Love Cypher. Granted, that was 2 years ago now, but
yeah,
he's definitely
because he has, you know, the singing. He does extra little voices in the background.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He was on Bang Pow Boom and Mighty Death Pop. You can hear him all over those albums.
Right. Yeah. So it'll probably take the whole squad coming together to make the type of album I'm talking about. But yeah, Fred Fury fucking killed it. People were saying before it came out that Straight Jacket did the whole thing. Apparently that was a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
And nothing. He produced like 4 tracks. He engineered, I think he has an engineering credit.
Yeah.
And like mixing credit for all or almost all the tracks. But yeah, as far as doing the beats and stuff, it's all over the map. Yes. Man, I love Devereaux. Devereaux is like the next big thing, I think.
His style is dope. He's with that like current generation of like the trap style kind of beats. And Ouija rocks those beats perfectly. That's Ouija's style. And to hear that Game Over beat was fucking hard with all those samples.
Yeah. I read some mainstream review. I think it was allhiphop.com. Yep. And they reviewed Fred Fury, and you know, they trashed about half of it and said that the rest of it was okay, but they said that Game Over song was unlistenable.
That's like, fucking funny.
How out of touch are you? Because this is the one that we're pretty much all agreeing is badass.
It is.
You have this outsider dude being like, this is unlistenable. Maybe your bitch ass ears, but we're all loving it over here.
Right. And I know a lot of people will relate to that song too. There's so many people that fucking play video games. I'm not a big gamer. I play here and there, but yeah, That shit was fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it was a very original concept. And it's funny because Violent J is always in JJ's Twitch streams now, so it's kind of funny that well, I wonder if maybe that was part of the inspiration for creating that. A warning against his son to be like, don't turn out this way.
Right. Yeah, every time he posts, we're on Twitch now, I'm like, I think of the video game song now. I'm like, oh, okay. What happened about game over and playing fucking video games?
You know what the best part of that song is? It's the last time that it does the hook and it doesn't have the voices in it. You know what I'm talking about? Because I get this image of my head of like all the people that were bitching at him throughout the whole song just giving up, being like, fuck it.
Fuck it.
So he's just left alone.
Right.
That's like the most haunting part of the song. But yeah, that's certainly a great one.
Yeah. Fearless Fred Fury did not disappoint.
Yeah, what did you think about them inserting the Willoughby Rags into Fury? It's weird because the Willoughby Rags voice pops up like 3 times near the start of the album, and then it never comes up again until almost the very end.
Right.
So it was like it's kind of a half-developed concept. It's like either put them in all throughout or don't do it at all. But that seemed like kind of an odd choice to me. I'm not mad at it. Weird.
It would have been cool if he was on it throughout the entire album, but I think it adds to Fury because he's just got that high pitch scream,
right?
And then you got that new drum breakdown right at the end. It just adds to the song. That song is so fucking good. That song sums up Fearless Fred Fury.
Yeah, totally. That's why it's the first track, pretty much, as far as I'm concerned. I don't really count the Red Fred track as a song. That's just like that's just an extension of the introduction.
Yeah. It's just
some people were saying like that was the weakest song on the album, but it's like you can't compare that to the actual songs. That's just like the Great Malenko. Like that's not a song. That's just part of the telling you more about the character.
And I like those songs where they tell you, like, you got the Jekyll Brothers song. They have 2 tracks on that, Jake and Jack.
Right.
I like it. I like those tracks where they describe the theme and the concept.
It's kind of a weird one, but like he had like his flow is really weird. It's like singing, but not good singing, but like not trying to be good. There's nothing harmonious about it. It's more just like yelling. But yeah, I like that one too, regardless.
Yeah, it's a good song. Good, gets you ready for Fearless Fred Fury. And
definitely.
Yeah, this album to me lived up to the hype. I went into it with low expectations only because the missing link was so bad. And I was like, come on, like, how do we go from Mighty Death Pop to that? But we're back on the incline.
Yeah, well, now I feel like the next Joker's card now is gonna be like super happy because that's just what I suspect. I feel like he got a lot of his aggression. They got a lot of their aggression out of their system on this one, and now it's gonna be back to the happy shit on the next one. But we'll see. I mean, this is, to my knowledge, the only time that they've ever been even talking about the next Joker's card
so soon
at the time of the release of this one. Like, if there's actually clues in Fred Fury as to what the next Joker's card is, that's got to be the only time that they've had the idea for the next card while recording a card. So, I mean, maybe it'll be similar. I don't know. What do you think about all that? A lot of people are saying that Brother has something to do with it. It probably does.
I think Brother has something to do with it. When I heard the Brother sample, first thing I thought of was the Violent J Brother EP.
For sure, of course. And then it made sense, like, oh, that's why they had so many of those brothers lying around when they made that album. They must have, because I'm assuming that the brothers were on Fred Fury first.
Right.
So, yeah.
First thing that popped into my head, Brother, are we going to get the fifth Joker's card of the first deck was the Amazing Jekyll Brothers.
Sure.
Could we get another pair of brothers? Or what I thought of, is there a third Jekyll brother that we don't know about?
Right. Yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter saying that, so maybe that was you. Yeah, that's a pretty unique idea. It would be the only time that they brought back a Joker's card to some time, even if it's not Jake and Jack again, it would be the only time that they've,
because you got Jake and Jack juggling your sins and whatever else, and then add a third brother and fucking start throwing more shit.
start throwing more shit. If they did a third Jekyll brother, the stakes would be incredibly high.
Super high. Yeah.
Is like if they fucked that up, I would be pissed. So
that might be.
I don't even know if they would go there. I don't know if they would have the balls to go there, and I don't think that would be a good idea. But I'm down for whatever. I'm willing to give anything a shot. So
right. I think the stakes would be too high, like you said, for them to do that. But that was an idea that I had in my head. I think the reason why they already have the name of the next Joker's card is because this one took 4 fucking years to come out. Violent K had this idea when Young Wicked was still kicking it on Psychopathic. He said in one of the interviews with Fagel Lovers.
Yeah, I remember that. While Young Wicked is sitting right there, as a matter of fact.
He's like, I got the name. He's like, I'm still working it out, but I know what it looks like, and I got the name. And I got a rough idea of what it's about. And that was it's got to be at least 3 years ago.
It had to be 2016.
Yeah.
But I remember that the next time they talked to Fagel Lovers, Scotty D was like, he brought that up. He was like, remember the last time we talked, you said you had the idea for the next Joker's card. And Violent J was like, did I really say that? He was like, I can't believe I even said that at the time, because I didn't know anything about it compared to what I know now. But that was before and after all the splitting and stuff. So, who knows? It could have been something drastically different at that time. Might not have even been Fearless Fred Fury.
And like maybe that old idea could be the new card. But like I said, it's been 4 years, so he's had plenty of time to fucking think about shit in the last 4 years.
I'll tell you one thing that I don't miss at all. Young Wicked's fucking singing all over every goddamn song.
I see a lot of people saying that. He ruined fucking Missing Link. I think ICP themselves ruined Missing Link. I'm not going to place blame on Young Wicked just because of his singing. But that's funny because I see a lot of people saying that.
His beats on Missing Link were good, but his singing is not good, even on his own tracks. It very rarely is good. Sometimes it works in a big way. Most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time I would rather not have his dumbass singing all over.
I love Young Wicked. His singing is kind of like reminds me of like a whiny kind of emo kind of singing, I guess. But I dig it. I'm all about Young Wicked. I've said it before. I think he's one of the best doing it right now.
I think his music took a sharp decline after leaving Psychopathic, but
yeah,
is what it is. A lot of people still really like him, so
yeah.
I don't miss him. Pretty much my take on that.
Yeah, I look forward to his mixtape coming out. I really like the Prodigal Son album that he did. Slaughter was a fucking awesome album, which was crazy because ICP was not on that album at all.
Slaughter is amazing. That's a great album. That was probably the best album they put out that whole year. That was also the Missing Link albums. That was also DJ Paul's Master of Evil, which is also a good CD. I like that one.
That was good.
And the Phantom EP came out that year as well, which I also really like a lot. But yeah, that Slaughter album rocked. So I don't know if that's the only album that he was to ever put out on Psychopathic. That's good enough for me because I don't need any more, in my opinion. Really, the only people I fuck with on MNE are Twisted, and now all of Zulalilu, and I kind of don't really care about everyone else. Blaze, I still like, but he doesn't put shit out.
Yeah,
I mean, he doesn't put out Blaze albums. He puts out all kinds of other things, but I assumed that was part of his situation at Psychopathic. Like, I figured that was one of his grievances, because it does seem like Psychopathic prevents people from putting things out from time to time, which I don't fully understand what is up with that. But I just assumed that when Blaze left, there was going to be Blaze after Blaze after Blaze album dropping, and then so far,
I thought so too. I mean, all of Blaze albums, it's like he puts out an album, and it's like 4 years later we get a new Blaze album.
Right? Yeah, but like on Psychopathic, he didn't put out that many solo albums, but he was also on all the Riders, all the Lotus.
Yeah.
Every time there was a new mixtape, he had some shit out there. So,
yeah.
I mean, he always stays busy, but as far as like Blaze albums, he doesn't really put out all that many. Or he'll put out 4 EPs and stuff, and that Drive-By album just came out, but yeah.
Yeah, we want solo Blaze. Where the fuck is the solo Blaze?
It would be nice. The only one that he's put out so far is the Casket Factory, right? That's the only solo LP. And then some other odds and ends here and there. But as far as solo LP, studio LP,
Casket
Factory has been.
I mean, you could say the Gang Rags Reloaded, but that was just a remix of an album that we already had.
Yeah, and an album that wasn't that good, and then remixed into an album that's also not that good.
Yeah, it was. I didn't really care for any of the versions of Gang Rags.
Oh, I like the actual Gang Rags, like the actual. I don't even know how to fucking describe it. The
original one produced by Mike.
The original one, yeah. But I mean, even calling it the original one is a misnomer, because I'm pretty sure that
the other one was recorded
extended
first.
and uncut is the original one,
right?
So, yeah, who knows? But yeah, I like that Gang Rags one a lot. I like all 4 of his Psychopathic LPs a lot. So I like Blaze, but yeah, pretty much like Twisted, Blaze, and all of Zulalilu. That's really all I'm interested in on MNE right now. Lex, I think, is very talented, but whatever. Gmo, I have no interest in. A and B, talented. I'm kind of over him.
Yeah.
Gorilla Voltage, you're a big fan of Gorilla Voltage, right?
To be honest, I have their first 2 albums, the one that they did as Damn Dirty Apes, and then the one that they released when they changed their name and signed to MNE. I thought they were good, but it was like nothing spectacular. That's why I didn't. Usually if I'm looking forward to something, I will get that pre-order in. And I was like, I'll wait till it hits iTunes, and then I'll listen to it on Apple Music. If I like it, I'll buy it. I really went into the album thinking it was going to be whatever, just like the first 2. Good, but I don't hate it. I don't love it. But this new album was fucking really good.
Yeah, I didn't hear that new one, so I have to hold off on judging them completely, but I don't really care about them. Boondocks, I really liked a lot on Psychopathic, but his MNE albums are so. ROC, he's only put out 1 LP also, right? Or maybe more. I'm not an expert on MNE. I don't pay as close attention to it as I do Psychopathic, but
no, ROC put out Digital Voodoo.
Right.
But ROC very rarely puts out an album.
Okay. I like that Zodiac Imprint album a lot. That was a good one.
That was a complete miss with me.
Okay, well, that was one of the
which was disappointing, because I like Blaze, I like ROC, but yeah, I didn't feel that one at all.
Oh, okay. And then I liked the Underground Avengers album. That was pretty good.
Again, I'm not a big fan of Boondocks. Never was from the very first album. So the only time I ever really liked listening to Boondocks was on the Riders albums. I thought he was really good on the Riders album.
Yeah, he is really good on the Riders albums.
But other than that, it's really hard to fucking sit through a Boondocks verse for me. So listening to Underground Avengers, Buckshot's cool, Class is cool, but trying to push myself through a Boondocks versus can prove pretty difficult at times.
Yeah, I like that album. That's one of the few M&E CDs that I own, I think. I'm not sure how many I own, but yeah, that's probably everybody, right? I think we've ran through Lars. What about Lars? You have any thoughts about them?
I
thought their CD was pretty mediocre as well.
Again, didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was a lot different than what I was expecting. But it's the whole rock star gimmick, I guess. So they were playing that up: drugs, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, basically. I would like to hear King Gordy solo. Not talking about fucking dudes.
Is that something he talks about a lot?
Oh yeah. Because when he's not talking about that and he's on his just straight wicked shit, he's highly underrated and he's super fucking talented.
Yeah, I like him. I never noticed that he talks about fucking dudes a lot, but more power to him.
Yeah, I've heard tracks. Yeah, they have that song, the Justin Bieber song, where they talk about fucking Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that one I know.
Yeah, so when they're not doing shit like that, I rock with it.
I like that. I like that Justin Bieber song. I guess you're right. That song does talk about raping boys and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then we got new. It's 8 songs, but we got new Ala Zulilu dropping in 2 months, and they just put out an album 5 months ago now. So,
yeah.
What they were saying. I forget what the interview was, where it was I saw, but they were explaining that the Church of Zul is a companion album to The Almighty.
Companion album. I wonder what that means.
Right. So the way I interpret that is kind of like
leftover B-sides.
No, they said it's all brand new music.
All right. Okay, good.
So
of course they're going to say that. No, I believe it. That'll be interesting.
So the way
I don't, like I said, I love that Almighty album so much. Like I've seen so many artists put out a great album and then put out a not as great album right after. So I'll believe it when I see it that it's as good as the Almighty. But yeah, I definitely fuck with those dudes big time. They're on tour right now. Kind of. I would have to take a day off work to go see them. I'd take a day off work and then go drive 150 miles to go see them. But
oh damn,
I might do it. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it.
Yep, I'm going to see them. I'm hitting that tour up for sure.
Who is headlining that tour? Them or the Axe Murder Boys?
Ala Zulilu.
They're headlining. Okay.
Yep. So, which is interesting to me. Fucking AMB's been out for 15 years. And they're not headlining a tour. It's the new guys, Ala Zulilu. The new up and comers they're on top right now.
Yeah, they are doing quite well right now. When I was on Chuck Reeves' show a couple of weeks ago, and the conversation went into kind of dark territory, but he was saying that if something were to happen to ICP, like if they died, then he said that he thought Ala Zulilu would be like the next in line to they would be like the new men on top, I guess. I don't really know how else to put it. The new quote leaders, I guess, quote unquote. That's not really the right word, but
right. I get what you're saying.
Be like the new main guys in the scene. I don't know. They certainly have the talent.
They do. But like Chuck Reed, he was saying on that show, because I listened to that episode.
Right.
With ICP, there's a clear frontman.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas with Twisted and Ala Zulilu, there's really no frontman. And I think for a group to have maybe that kind of, I don't know, success or whatever, does there need to be a front man? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so. one of those Alazul Ilu guys is newer to the group, right? Like one of those guys only joined on when that on the Almighty, and he's not
Lee
on the other
Carver.
album, Lee Carver, but he
Yep.
fucking kills it. He fits right in with those dudes. He's maybe even better than they are. I don't know. I kind of have a hard time telling their voices apart because all their masks, they all three look fucking exactly alike. So it's kind of hard for me to tell.
That's the awesome part about their gimmick is when you look at them, you have no idea who's who.
So I think they have their names like printed on their shirts.
Yeah.
So there is like some individuality, but who the fuck can see that when you're watching them perform? So
in my opinion, Billy Obey, his voice, I feel like he has that like leader voice where like he tells you to drink the fucking Kool-Aid, you're gonna drink the Kool-Aid type shit.
Yeah, they did an interview with Fresh is the Word, some podcast Fresh is the Word, and they were like in full character mode, just the way that ICP used to do it back in the day, where they're just fucking around with every single answer. I love that shit. Now ICP is like kind of too old to get away with that anymore, but yeah.
Well, it's like ICP brought up on the No Jumper interview. They're like, when we get interviews now, everybody's calling us fucking legends and legends and icons and what we've done over the last almost fucking 30 years now. So their interviews are more like, hey, we'll take you guys kind of more serious.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, they probably didn't feel like they were being taken serious.
No, right. Yeah.
So totally. Maybe they were just like, fuck it. We're just going to fuck around and have fun with these interviews. Yeah. And those
I think in Behind the Paint, Violent J says that they went to Europe to do press and they were just such assholes. Like, just to every interview they gave. And that's why to this day, they like don't have a super strong following in Europe. And he was like, I kind of regret that now, but they didn't know any better at the time. But yeah, that shit cracks me up. One of the last times that I remember them really like doing that type of shit was during the Wraith era. They were still giving those kind of interviews. But ever since then, it's like, all right, we all know the deal now. And like, now we've all like seen pictures of them without their paint on. It's like the gimmick is kind of run its course in a lot of ways. It's like we all know that you're two real people. You don't need to put the act up anymore.
Right.
We all know who you are. So
yeah.
So
but yeah, I like the new interviews that they do, like with Hot 97, Sway, the No Jumper interview. Yeah. To me, the Sway interview was like, holy shit, they're on fucking Sway. Like, this is legit.
Very legit. I still want to see them on Charlemagne. I tweet at Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club like once every couple of months, like get ICP on the show. So
that would be good.
One day that'll go down.
Charlemagne would be looking at them like, what the fuck?
I mean, I don't know though. Maybe, and if he would, I think he would quickly get past any preconceived notions he may or may not have because he's just that type of dude. Like, I think he would respect the hustle. I've never heard him talk about them one way or the other. Like Ebro, you could already tell that Ebro wasn't on board with them. So I mean, like it was pretty obvious how that was going to turn out from the jump. But Charlemagne, I love Charlemagne. So
yeah, Charlemagne's fucking awesome. His podcast is awesome. That would make for an interesting interview. But yeah, Ebro's such a fucking hard ass. He does that with fucking everybody though.
Yeah, he's quite a character. I can't even hardly stand to watch him. I like Big Boy a lot as well. Big Boy's probably never even heard ICP.
You'd be surprised.
Well, he may have heard of them, but
I'm
never. Sure like Charlemagne would be, I think, the most likely to give them a chance. Him and Sway, which I mean, I thought Sway killed it on his part. Like that's the difference between Sway and Ebro. When they did that Sway interview, Sway already knew. He already knew what questions to ask. Like he clearly had done some research, and that was to promote the Juggalo March. So that was during that era. So, I mean, Sway already he was prepared. It seemed like so. I love Sway. He's definitely one of my favorites
Absolutely. Sway's a fucking legend.
Oh yeah, for sure. Goes way back. He gave Tech Nine his first national song with that Wake Up Show anthem.
Yep. Eminem and
RZA.
RZA. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's switch gears. Yesterday, they announced the Psychopathic Cypher dropping next Friday, March 1st.
Yes.
No idea who's going to be on it.
No idea.
They did say on what interview was it where they were talking that they were going to do outside appearances outside of Psychopathic?
Might have been on the Juggalo show.
Oh, yeah. That's
I really
right.
don't remember either.
But
I
yeah,
definitely heard that somewhere though. Yeah.
someone commented on my Instagram post saying that it could be because I think they mentioned the names during the Juggalo show, Stitches and Mac Lethal.
I think here's where that is coming from. They said on the Juggalo show that the video was filmed at Hollow Wicked. So that's probably where that person is pulling those names from. But they didn't drop any names. I would have remembered if they dropped names.
Okay.
And, I mean, the way they promoted it the other day was like they called it the next Psychopathic Psypher. So I don't know. And like you said on Twitter, I think you said that if anyone gets left off of that cipher, the rumors are just going to go flying, just like with ABK not on the last one. ABK fucking needs to be on a Psychopathic something.
If ABK is not on this Psychopathic Cypher, regardless of anything he says, I don't give a fuck if regardless of what he says, if he's not on this cipher, it's hard to believe he's on Psychopathic.
I think I'm going to agree with that. If he's not on this cipher, I'll say I'll believe it when you drop the album.
Right. Like, but, I'll take his word that he's still on Psychopathic. He's talking about booking studio time and all this shit, so I'll take his word, but it's going to be real fucking hard if he's not.
The weird thing is it's not just his word. He's still on the artists section of psychopathicrecords.com. So it's like, what is the relationship here?
Right.
And then, of course, rumors about Light have been going around for fucking ever now. So that'll be the big one to watch. I don't feel like I have any reason to believe that Light is off of the label, but a lot of people seem to say so. So
yeah, I don't know what's prevented him from putting out music, but I could see a situation similar to Ouija Mac where he puts out a project that's Psychopathic related, or that reps the hatchet, but isn't put out by Psychopathic. Like
that's how it should be. And Hoodoo is going in that same direction because that awesome Hoodoo video that he put out, that's something called ear drug music.
Okay.
And if you go to eardrugmusic.com, at least when I did it, the only song on there at the time was that Hoodoo song. So I don't know if that's his shit or I don't know what the relationship is there, but I anticipate the next Hoodoo album, whenever it is, will have something to do with ear drug music. Someone that I'm curious about right now is DJ Clay, because he was supposed to be on that Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker tour. And then all of a sudden he wasn't, and DJ Carlito was on instead. So I don't know.
So I'm going to pull up a post that I posted.
Have news about this?
Yeah, nothing crazy. Actually, I didn't post about it yet, but I have the fucking screenshot of it. And it's DJ Clay went on Facebook yesterday and he said, I've been locked in the studio grinding out some of what I feel is my best work. It's still dark and cannot wait to unleash my thoughts, feelings, anger, and energy on my debut solo album and get back on social media and show the world what's been going on in the underground. There is going to be so much fan participation involved on this record. I've said too much. Hashtag people will be mad. Hashtag people will be happy. Hashtag haters will talk shit. Hashtag my fam will squash shit. So it sounds like he's working on an album, but
yeah, no real clues there as to what he's talking about, though.
Right.
Curious. But he's been on the label for so fucking long now. Like longer, but other than ABK, he's been on longer than anybody else. So that would be a shame if something happened there. But.
Yeah, he did. He put out a bunch of mixtapes, all the Let Him Bleeds, the Book of the Wicked, and
World Upside Down.
Yep, but it was weird to be promoted Shaggy and DJ Clay only to have DJ Clay disappear, replaced by Carlito. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I actually wanted to ask Shaggy about that at the VIP, but the reason I didn't is because the VIP was in groups. Like they sent in like 4 people at a time, and I didn't want to put Shaggy in a weird position if there was some kind of thing. I didn't want to blow up a spot like that and ask him about it in front of all those people. So I have no idea, but I'm one of these people that's like, until someone gives me a reason, I'm going to believe that everything is the way it has been. Like until someone gives me a reason to think that there was some kind of beef or drama, I'm just going to assume that Clay's had something come up and he had to leave the tour, and it was as simple as that. So I don't know.
I saw a speculation that because he did a show with Gmoski,
but that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. That didn't make any sense to me. But
no,
that was something that I saw. But maybe he left to work on his album, but why?
It's so weird because he's on he was on the first couple of dates, and he was even tweeting about it, or saying we're about to fuck this tour up. So it's like, curious, but I don't know. I mean, Shaggy was, or not Shaggy, DJ Clay was all over the production credits of Shaggy's album, but nowhere to be mentioned on Fred Fury. So I don't know if that's a clue or whatever, but I don't know. I'm not really concerned one way or the other. I'm so past the point of giving a shit about who's on or off.
Right. I guess we'll find out next week on the Cypher. Who will be on the Cypher next week?
It would be cool if Clay had a verse on there. He didn't have a verse on the Juggalo Love Cypher, but he was in the video.
Right.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'm curious to see who's going to be on there. Will ABK be on there? That's my biggest question. I would like to see the whole fucking roster on there. Ouija, Killa, Light, ICP, Clay.
ABK just had like a regular show on the Fred Fury release day. Like all those release parties were going off everywhere, and ABK just did a regular ABK show that day, which is kind of another weird thing. But
I want to know how much in advance those shows were planned, because they were
totally. It really seemed last second.
Yeah. So I wouldn't doubt that he already had something scheduled.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Because that shit just seemed like just out of nowhere. And it happened so close to the release date. It was like, holy shit, we're like 20 something fucking release parties.
Yeah. So
did you see the picture I post? One of the release parties didn't receive CDs.
Yeah, I think several of them didn't.
Oh, really?
I think so. I heard it from more than one person, but I did see that picture. I think that was like hosted by Psycho Stick, because it was like, why don't you buy a Psycho Stick album instead?
Right.
That's what it said on that.
Yeah.
In that picture.
Yeah, that was funny.
Who knows? Seemed like the ones that had Psychopathic employees at them went really well. Like Keegan was putting out some videos from his, and Rude Boy and Jumpsteady. Seemed like those ones were pretty fun. So
I saw the footage of the one ICP did in LA, and that looked fucking dope. That looked really fucking awesome. Yeah. They did someone put up their whole set. It was like a 25-minute set. They did a really quick set, no Fago or anything. But the place was fucking packed. Looked fucking awesome, like a good time.
Yeah, it was a good idea. Probably could have used a little more preparation on that,
and I'm wondering, with the idea behind those release parties was you get a free copy of Fearless Fred Fury, and I think that was a tactic to sell more albums.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure that was the reason. I have no doubt that was the plan.
And I'm wondering, what are the numbers going to translate to compared to the hype. Like the hype was fucking real for this album. Did the people turn out? Were there a shitload of pre-orders, downloads, streams?
People on like I think it was Hep C on Twitter. I always get people's Twitter names mixed up, but he had like 7 copies on release day.
Oh,
he had
shit.
a picture of him with just like a ton of them. And I planned to buy more myself, as a matter of fact. But on the day that I got Fred Fury, they only had one left at the store I went to. But Chuck Reeves posted on Instagram. You know, every time Chuck Reeves says or does anything, controversy can follow. But he posted a picture on Instagram of the iTunes charts, which said that Fred Fury peaked at 25. And Chuck's angle on that was like, oh, I guess your album flopped. But so many juggalos buy the physical copies of ICP albums and not iTunes that I just don't think that's a good indicator.
I was thinking that too, because that's only one thing. That's just iTunes. That's not including Spotify, Tidal. And again, the physical copies, like you said, ICP fans go out and buy physical copies.
Right.
I mean, I got the pre-order through Psychopathic merch, and then I placed another pre-order through a record store because I wanted to get the Flip the Rat. So I would say a lot of juggalos ordered probably 2 copies. The ones that did buy copies probably ordered 2 copies because of that.
Right. Yeah. And if I got the last one at my record store, then other people in the area must have been buying them up too. So
yeah,
who knows?
And then I found a chart, hitsdailydouble.com. I guess they post record sales throughout the week, and as of last night, through the week, Fearless Fred Fury has sold 10,533 copies. Now, to me, that doesn't sound bad, because then I look and I saw like Ariana Grande at number 3 and she sold 24,000. So to think ICP only sold half of what she sold, and she's a huge pop fucking mainstream success. That doesn't, I mean, 10,000 doesn't sound bad to me.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue anymore. Everything has changed so much.
So yeah, it's so different from what it was back in the day.
When I was growing up, if you sold 10,000 copies, then your probably wasn't even charting. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't really speak to that either, but I believe that ICP's highest ever charting is number 4, and they've done that now 3 times. They peaked at number 4 with Jekyll Brothers, the Bang Pow Boom, and the Mighty Death Pop. They all came out at number 4. So
yeah,
that's the one to beat. Missing Link Lost topped out at number 17, which that's an easy number to remember. And then Found came out at like 50 something for whatever reason. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I hope they can at least beat 17. I mean, this album unanimously seems to be agreed upon as being really good. So
yeah, I'm hoping that they crack the top 10 on Billboard. I don't know, like you said, I don't really know numbers like that for Billboard. I don't look at Billboard numbers like that. Mainly only because I don't really care about most of the artists on that chart Billboard like that anyway. I would care about the numbers if the numbers were more readily available. I would like to keep track of shit like that.
Yeah, I believe I was just looking at it the other day. I think it said that the charts are updated every Tuesday, so I guess it'll be Tuesday that we find out how well it did.
I'm sure it's going to chart, no doubt.
It'll chart for sure. That would be pathetic if it didn't even chart at all. But
yeah, it'll chart for sure, and I'm sure they'll throw up a fucking infographic on where they charted, what chart they charted on, like they usually do. Most artists do that. So I'm just wondering if the hype is going to translate to numbers. And if it doesn't, that would be really fucking disappointing for them.
Yeah, and this is probably their big money maker for the year. So
yeah, Because as far as I know, there's no other plans to put any other albums out this year. I mean, we're only in February, but they haven't been releasing shit the last few years.
Yeah, you might be right about that. The booklet doesn't really indicate. They have a lot of vinyls coming out. They certainly have like 6 vinyls, I think, have release dates in the Fred Fury booklet. But I was hoping to hear something about any of the other artists. Where's the Light album? Where is it? Come on. He got signed in 2017, right? Maybe he's at the
16.
16. That Psychopathic Monster definitely came out in 2017. I remember
so
that.
Probably that.
I don't remember when exactly he got signed off the top of my head, but still, but it's been 2.5 years, almost 2 years, over 2 years. Come on, he's already put out an LP and a mixtape and fucking a million SoundCloud songs.
Ouija's like an anomaly though. That dude's out there grinding like nobody else on Psychopathic is doing. He's doing his own thing. He's like, we've talked about it before. He's got the merch drops. He put out Water Damage himself, Trash Fire before he put out Gutter Water. So he's doing his own thing, grinding, doing his own independent thing from Psychopathic.
Yeah, totally. And at the Fuck Off Motherfucker tour, he was signing autographs and taking pictures all night long for free. He had a meet and greet for $100, and I have no idea what that came with, but he was taking pictures and signing autographs with anybody that wanted one. As soon as his set was done, he was at his merch booth for the whole rest of the night.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to fucking do.
Yeah.
It kind of like right after Light got signed, he opened for ICP on one of their tours, and he had like a $50 meet and greet. And I doubt it was his idea. Someone probably told him to do that.
Right.
But it struck a nerve, because I saw that and was like, man, you're not there yet.
Right.
I'm gonna pay $50 to meet this dude that I have barely even heard of. Just seemed weird. So
yeah, I saw
go out there and sign autographs. I thought was pretty legit.
Yeah, at the end of the Shaggy show, I kind of hung around for a few minutes while everybody left the venue, and Ouija was walking by, and I stopped him. I'm like, yo, you fucking won me over as a fan tonight. I was kind of on the edge. I dig the music, but after seeing your performance, dope shit. He's like, let's take a picture. And I was like, fucking hey, all right. So I snapped a picture with him. And like you said, in between sets, he was at his merch booth, chilling, talking to people. He even went up after that. He's like, if you want if you want me to sign something, I'll sign something for you. I was like, I'm good, man. I'm not huge on autographs, but appreciate the picture, whatever. But that's what he was doing. I'm sure he did that the whole fucking tour.
I wish I had something for him to sign, because I didn't. I was like, I am big on autographs, but I didn't expect to meet him, so I didn't bring shit. But his show has really evolved just over the last 2 years that he's been signed. Like, his show was decent to start with, but nothing special, really. I didn't think. It was good, but now it's like on a whole other level compared to what it was. So,
and that could be due to being more familiar with his music.
No, I don't know. He's more energetic. This
dude was fucking nuts. This dude was like hanging from the speaker stacks and shit. I was like,
oh, really?
I was like, this fucking dude's nuts.
Yeah, I only got to see like half of him because the Shaggy meet and greet was going on at the same time, which seems like a flawed system to me. I really wanted to see Ouija, but I had to miss a good chunk of it because of the meet and greet.
Yeah, I think I missed 2 songs, and I was one of the last people in the meet and greet for Shaggy, where the show I went to, and I think I only missed 2 songs because I think I heard Future of the Wicked playing in the background. I was like, oh fuck, this dude's on stage. I'm like, I don't want to miss this. But I saw that the line was pretty big for the VIP, but it kind of went by quick.
And, ours was pretty big too. And I didn't even get the damn Gloomy Sunday EP. I knew that was going to happen when they gave you 2 of them. I remember you were tweeting at the time like, They didn't have any more of the lanyards, so they're giving everyone 2 gloomy Sundays. The show that I went to was the second to last show of the whole tour. So whenever I saw you tweet that out, I was like, fuck, they're going to run out by the time they get to me. That's exactly what happened. They said they were going to mail them out. I haven't checked the mail recently. I don't know if I have it yet, but sure enough.
Yeah, I saw people in the Psychopathic Museum actually start posting pictures that they're receiving the CDs.
Cool.
From wherever the VIP website was.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I might have it by now. I haven't looked lately. But
yep. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for now.
All right. Well, good deal.
Yeah. I appreciate fucking having you on the show. We always fucking have good interactions on Twitter. You're a fucking cool dude in my book. We don't agree on everything, but we can fucking talk civilly about it and have a fucking good time doing it. So appreciate you having on, and tell people where they can fucking reach you at.
Yeah, totally. My shit is murdermayhemshow.com is the easiest way to get to most of it, or you can just search Murder Mayhem Show. But there's a Facebook, a Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. That might be it. Podcast, of course. But just go to murdermayhemshow.com, find all that shit. It's pretty much just what you and I just did. Just talking Juggalo shit. So yeah, if you like that, then go check that out.
And in my opinion, you're one of the best Juggalo podcasters for sure.
People tell me that a lot, actually. Not to brag, but I have been told that multiple times. So
yeah, I've been listening to your shit for at least a couple years now, back when it was sporadic and all over the place. But I'm a fan of your shit. I appreciate you dropping on my show.
Yeah, I like your shit a lot too. I need this probably tonight. I need to like really get down on checking out everyone's Fred Fury reviews, because now they're pretty much all out by now, and I haven't really listened to any of them. But
yeah,
I got to go through like everyone's YouTube pages and just see what everybody thought. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, everybody's loving the album. There might be a few songs here and there people don't like, but they're digging it.
Even Chuck Reeves said it was good.
Did he?
He said it wasn't. He said, "I'm not going to say it's bad." That was what he said on Instagram.
All right, so it wasn't negative.
ICP. He has people have their opinions of him, but he likes ICP a lot.
Oh, I know he does. I know he does. He can be misunderstood at times.
And then sometimes he's understood perfectly. And
exactly.
Yeah, I don't think that would offend him to say that. He knows what his image is, I think.
Right. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on. And that's going to do it for me. This is the Beneath the Dirt podcast. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.